You gotta have confidence. There's nothing worse than walking out a squat, hitting the bottom, bitching out, having a W over, and sharting all over the backside of your underpants. What's up, guys? It's me again, Jacob Clark Strong, and as you may have guessed, today I will be talking about self-confidence. Now, this book is referenced quite a few times in this video, and I'm not going to try to pronounce that name, so there it is for you. And I'll be breaking this down into 3 sections. First off, I'm going to get you all book learnt on the confidence-performance connection. Once we've established that confidence is related to performance, then I'm going to give you some ways to boost confidence, and then at the end I will talk about some whimsical anecdotes of how I came to have some self-confidence. So first we have confidence-performance connection. So I'm not the first one to go out and try to prove there's a connection here. It's been done quite a few times, so there is without a doubt a connection between confidence and performance, but you're here so you want to hear me talk about it, so I shall. Start with the definition of confidence. It can be defined as a belief that you are equal to the task at hand because of utter belief in your own abilities. So without even going further, you can pretty much draw a clear line to how that can affect performance positively. So we'll turn to a good example. A classic study of this is basically how it worked was they'd pair people up for an arm wrestling match, and by manipulating confidence basically and leading the research subject into believing the person they were facing was significantly stronger or weaker, they could basically predict the outcome. And 10 out of 12 times on average, even when the opponent was stronger, when the research subject was led to believe that they were weaker, they would win. So that's a good classic example of confidence's effect on performance. And then some sources of self-confidence. So first there's performance accomplishments. So basically what you've done in the past. You know, if you're a world-class shot putter, you've won world championships several times, that's a pretty good confidence booster. Vicarious experience, when you see other people do well at the same given task, it is again another confidence booster. Verbal persuasion, that's like a lot like self-talk, and there's a whole other chapter in this book that I could go into about how self-talk improves performance. Physiological state, probably should have written that as ability to control physiological state. Like if you got like butterflies in your stomach and are throwing up before, you gotta go lift some weight, and you're probably not gonna do the best. Emotional state, if you're like bawling and shit right before you're supposed to compete, also probably not gonna be a great thing. So emotional state control basically. And that actually has a lot to do with coming back from injury or the importance of a given task. Coming back from injury, a big one. Anyone who's come back from injury knows how big it can be, like that first game back. And then imagery experience. Again, another whole big chapter in that book on how basically visualizing what you want to accomplish can be massively beneficial to confidence. So from there you can definitely see there is a connection between confidence and performance. Here to boost confidence, and this is just one way to boost confidence. There's plenty of different ways to do it. This is how I've personally gone through it, and this is what I tend to stand by. So first you gotta identify the problem. If you don't know what's wrong, you can't fix it. Know your own definition of confidence. See that in your mind, something to aspire to. If you don't have a goal, you'll never leave where you start. Imagery, imagine yourself being that image of confidence. Go through in your mind what you don't have confidence in, and imagine yourself succeeding. Step 4 and 5, the biggies, turn your negative thoughts into positive experiences and challenges. Don't look at them as failures, look at them as opportunities and goals to improve upon. Step 5 is when you gain the sense of control. You actively seek challenges and improve your negatives and just look at things more positively. And 4 and 5 can almost be done indefinitely to stay at the top of your game. That is one excellent way to boost your self-confidence. Alright, so this is kind of where the textbook knowledge stops and this becomes more personal, my personal takes and information on this. If you have no interest in that, or me, feel free to exit video right now. So basically what I'm covering right now is that there's a necessity to gain self-confidence. That's unanimous. We got that covered. But what I'm going to talk about are the different ways, and there's plenty to get there. I'm only going to talk about two, the way I see it in most people and then how I personally do it. But to start off, what I see the most in other people is more in line with what I explained as far as self-confidence goes, in that it's an unwavering belief in oneself, which is good, but it's more or less characterized by believing you're better than the other people. As in, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, and I'm better than all of you guys. Which is great, and I'm sure, a lot of top-level athletes think that way, and I understand. To be the best, you gotta have that confidence. But again, it's characterized by a belief in being better than other people. Now, this can end up, and this is what I see an awful lot, is going basically straight to your head. Especially when you're an amateur athlete. If you're top of the world level athlete, okay, you kind of earned the right to gloat. Interestingly enough, though, if you look at a lot of world champion level athletes, most of them don't. They're very realistic, they're very humble. Beside the point. So basically what I'm saying is that view of thinking can lead a lot of people to basically be cocky. Alright, so now I'm going to kind of talk about how I get to and how I kind of gained self-confidence. And again, this is a completely different way of getting there to the same result as what I see in a lot of others. So again, while the last one was characterized by a belief that you're better than the competition, what drives my self-confidence is more or less insignificance. I'll explain that. Basically, it's underlined by the belief that just about everything that I could possibly do, or anything that anyone can do, is so insignificant in the grand scale of things, but this insignificance doesn't deter me from it's this chase that I'll never see the end of. It's this race that I'll never see the end of that leads me to confidence. So I guess the best way to put it is that when I look at everything I can possibly do as so insignificant, it doesn't seem as that big of a deal anymore. It erases this whole nervousness with it when, like, I'm squatting 500 pounds and I'm thinking, like, people have squatted 1,000 pounds, this is nothing. And while for all intents and purposes it is a big deal for me, maybe I've never touched that weight before, but when you begin to think of things in the context of how insignificant they really are, I begin to just gain confidence, I guess. That's how I do it, This last week I squatted 500 pounds, 495, whatever. It was 5th place. It was an exciting thing for me. But in my mind, it's like, all that goes through my head is how insignificant this weight is. There's probably millions, okay, maybe not millions. There's thousands of kids, maybe my age, my weight, that I'm sure can probably squat this. It's not a big deal. And that's how I gain my confidence. I look at things like they're not a big deal.
Okay, so that's the video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Jacob Clark Strong, Twitter's at Jake Allen Clark, or Facebook if you're creepy at Jacob Breaker of Mountains Clark. Don't ask me why that's my name. It's been that way forever. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Especially share this with anyone you think needs help gaining some self-confidence. And also comment if you have any personal stories on how you came to gain self-confidence. Always like hearing from my subscribers, all 50 of you. But as I elaborated on earlier, plenty of ways to get to the same goal. Love to hear yours. Having said that, I'll see you all in my next video. And always remember,